All right, this is not a quiz, but this is a serious question. If you can save $5,000 a month or more on your D2C brand every single month with almost no extra work, would you do it? Most would say yes, but most don't. And it's not for the reason you think. Let me explain. We saved a well-known oral care brand $5,000 a month. It was just over $5,000 a month on their Klaviyo bill every single month there forward within 24 hours of us onboarding. And it's with this thing that we used to call a billing analysis. I sound old at this point, but this is no longer a thing. And I'm going to explain to you exactly why and what you need to do to make sure that you are monitoring the costs in your Klaviyo account and to make sure that you're not overpaying at all. Most accounts that we look at right now are typically overpaying by hundreds and sometimes even thousands of dollars a month just by not doing this one simple thing. And it's gotten easier than ever. Let me show you exactly what to do. So what we used to have to do was something called Klaviyo billing analysis. This is something that not a lot of people did at the time, but we found a ton of value in. You can see about a year ago is when this video was made. And this is the old way. The old way was Klaviyo used to do their billing based off of both profiles and monthly sends. So you would look at how many profiles do you, and this was a little bit deceiving even at the time. The way they priced it was how many profiles do you have in your account, which is what most people thought. In all reality, it's how many profiles are you able to send or do you want to send at any one given time with any one single campaign or one single email blast. Now, the other option here, and they did it based off of both of these factors, was email monthly usage. In other words, how many total recipients receive emails? How many total emails do you send every single month? If you have 1,000 people on your list, so let's say you have 10,000 people for more realistic numbers, 10,000 people on your list, you send 4 campaigns a month, and you send to your entire list, that alone is going to be 40,000 emails, let alone flows. You can start to see how fast this adds up. So for an account that has 1.7 million contacts, which in this case they did, you can begin to see just how impactful this can be when you start to look at the costs of these plans. So let's actually look at the costs for this plan specifically. So that the summary here, $15,000 per month was the specific plan that they were on at the time. Now, when we did this analysis, and again, people didn't do this much before anyways, this is something that only a handful of top agencies really, 1, cared to look at, 2, knew about, and 3, actually did on a consistent basis. We made this a part of our processes for both biweekly and monthly analytic tracking. And the one thing that we saw was they were still paying for Black Friday pricing. This here, in this specific case, it actually isn't this account. This is a demo of me doing another account. But I think this was 25 million sends, and I forget how many total profiles. I think it was 1.7. I think that's what it was. If you go into the Klaviyo account, you could still see these different plans and see exactly which one it was. It was the one that cost $15,080, but what they didn't realize was it looked identical to this, where their profiles, profile monthly usage was, you can see the blue, they're paying for the ability to send 75,000, in this case, 75,000 emails per campaign, when in all reality, we only needed or sent to around 38,000. So really, in this case, what we used to do is look at how many emails do we need to send, and then find a balance between, for example, in this case, let's say we only needed to send 500,000, and this was still plenty of total profiles for us to send to in any given campaign. Then what we would do is take this down, and in this case, exactly what we did was say, cool, how many emails based off of the last 3 months and based off of the last 30 days, how many total sends do we need per month? We went to that plan, which ended up being this plan here, which is $10,010, and we looked at, are the number of profiles that were allowed to send at any one given time, is this reasonable? And we were not sending to our entire list at the time. I don't recommend anyone send to their entire list at any given time, but it was. So what we found was we can literally, and we did this within 24 hours of onboarding, you can imagine how happy they were, we were able to save them $5,000 versus that $5,070 versus that previous period. You can imagine just how stoked they were. Now, this became something that people missed a lot. Again, only a handful of people knew how to do it, knew about it, knew exactly how it worked, but then there was only a handful of those people that actually did something about it consistently. And this was the old way. Now, it's gotten even easier. So it has become even easier. Now, what we see with this is depending on the size of the account, depending on the size of the plan, how many profiles you have, how many people you send to, or let's explain really quick the new way, and based off of now what is only profiles. So Klaviyo, I think it was February of 2025, changed their pricing plan to where it no longer accounted for the number of sends per month. It was only based on the number of profiles, and you can guess why they did that. So now with that, what we started to do is become much more aggressive on the list cleaning. The one thing that can control how much, when you look at the ROI of your retention, how much you're generating from email and how much you're spending on the platform with agency costs, the one thing that can help with that the most, obviously, is cutting costs. At least in the shortest period. I mean, again, we were able to save $5,000 a month within 24 hours. This is one of the quickest ways to boost the ROI of your retention marketing, sans just increasing revenue over a longer period of time. Now, it's become so much easier when they changed over the pricing to only account for profiles. Some plans that I was on, sometimes, in some cases, 2x'd in the total Klaviyo cost, just because of the balance of what percentage of the list they send to and how often they send, all of those different things factoring into the total number of profiles on the account. What they did was actually made this a little bit easier for us, because once we started becoming, we set up we created a flow based off of a segment that does automatic suppressions of profiles based on engagement. If you are unengaged and meet certain criteria, you're going to get entered into this flow where we've set up a webhook to suppress unengaged profiles automatically. That paired with our partnership with Zero Bounce, where we're able to utilize the integration with some segmentation we've created and Zero Bounce themselves. We're able to pair together this really efficient, really effective way to clean the list. Now, what we still had to do was manually go through this. It was a similar process, it's just slightly different now that they've changed the pricing model. But we would still have to go through manually and change these, and now Klaviyo has made this even easier. Now, I don't know if this has been here since February or if this is added sometime between then and now in June 2025, but the new way is so much easier. You can save, as long as you are cleaning your list consistently, you can save, in some cases, hundreds or thousands of dollars a month in a 24-hour period just by ticking a few of these settings. And let me show you exactly what I mean. So if you go into the Klaviyo settings, if you go into settings, billing, and I believe it's preferences, you'll come and you'll scroll down and you should see email upgrade and profiles auto downgrade. Now, what you're going to want to do, this is, I believe, turned off by default or set to automatic upgrade. Now, I don't fully understand the nomenclature. It's a little bit confusing. Tends to be the trend here with some of these platforms. But what you can do is come into email upgrade preference, select flexible sending. And what this will allow you to do is, let's say you have a plan that you stick to pretty consistently throughout the entire year. In 1 month, let's say Black Friday or any big sale period for your brand, let's say that you need to increase sending and you want no lapse of coverage, usage, you don't want approval, you don't want anything to run out, you don't want a send to be delayed because you have to go through and change the plan manually. You want none of that. What you want to be able to do is have this move automatically to the next plan up. So you can see the next flexible sending plan includes an extra 200,000 monthly sends, gives you an additional cost on top of your plan cost. And the next checkbox right below that is profiles auto downgrade. So what this will allow you to do is it will allow you to basically just it says your plan will be automatically downgraded based off of your active profile count 24 hours before your billing cycle turnover. And it basically allows you to do everything I just mentioned on autopilot. We're now based off of, again, if let's say you come through and you do a large, this is especially helpful the first go around. You create a sunsetting flow for the first time. You create your auto suppression flow, and you are able to remove let's say 15,000 total profiles. This is your first big list cleaning of your Klaviyo account. You're able to remove 15,000 people. You no longer have to think about or create processes around doing this manually and decreasing your plan to save that $100, $200, $500, $1,000, $5,000, whatever the case is for your plan. You no longer have to do that or think about that being done in a manual way. With these settings, you can now do it automatically. This is a really, really important part and one of the quickest ways to increase the ROI from your retention marketing. But this is just a small part of the entire scope of what email marketing and retention marketing really is in 2025 and 2026. So if your account needs a little extra love, optimized deliverability, and someone to drill down into the domain level to make sure that your sending infrastructure is as rock solid as possible, I'm going to leave my information down below. Book a time with me and the team at Transparent Digital Agency, and we will make sure that your deliverability, that your email marketing is on point for the rest of 2025 and 2026. Any other questions, any other comments, please drop them down below. And until next time.